waiting so patiently for you.
What is up, you all? Today we're going to be talking about why the Conjuring Last Rites could be the scariest case that we see in the Conjuring franchise. Before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So we know as of now we only have 3 Conjuring movies, starting off with Conjuring 1 being about the Perron family, and then Conjuring 2 being about the Hodgson family, and then Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, being about the Glazell family and this man named Dave. These cases, I'm a huge Conjuring fan, they're all very interesting, you know, for different reasons, being that the first one with the Perron family is about Bathsheba the witch, and, you know, this haunted house and everything, and how it's latched on to the mother, and just a little bit of the lore and backstory about Bathsheba the witch and, you know, everything that's going on in this house. Now, moving forward with the Conjuring 2 is more of like a poltergeist feel about this girl named Janet. Now, this case is very interesting because I heard that, you know, this case is a little fabricated. This is the only one I heard about, you know, out of these cases, that this one is a little fabricated and it was like a prank that went wrong. But it can all just be, you know, just word to mouth, and it can still be real. Maybe it's just someone just saying that, but they're saying that this case is actually a prank that went wrong, that basically Janet was pranking, you know, her family and everything, and the family was in on it or something like that, and then, make a long story short, it ends up hitting entertainment and just the media, and they ran with it, and it became a story about, you know, this poltergeist being the Hodgson family. Now, with everything with the Conjuring, we always heard about, you know, basically people saying the Warrens were frauds and things like that. I actually respect their stories. I love their stories. You know, the paranormal things that's going on in these stories definitely makes, you know, a little bit more eerier. Everything with the Warren Museum, the Annabelle doll, the Shadow doll, it all just is crazy. But this case, and specifically being the Smurl family case, is a case that I've always heard about that happened in Pennsylvania. You know, I told you all this in my previous video, like things got like that, from chandeliers falling from the roof onto the table while they're having dinner, them seeing actual like demons in the house, just the kids even getting backlash from it, just seeing things happen with their toys moving, Jack getting essayed, Janet getting essayed. These were different types of demons, man. It was things where it wasn't just, you know, you can see it. They were trying to hurt you. And the demons, like from the movie The Haunted that came out years back, it showed this demon as just a black shadow, and that's from what we heard in the stories. The Smurl family, they never said like the type of face that they saw or the type of imagery, really. They just said like he saw like a black silhouette that went through the walls, that traveled from room to room. And the thing that made it so eerie to me was that it was even going down to the dog, like throwing a dog across the house and trying to, you know, go after the grandparents. This entity, this demon, this was actually different from a lot of stories that we heard about in real life. Now, you know, the Conjuring movies, they're going to always kind of over exaggerate situations to make it feel like Hollywood, like a creepier story, a scarier story. But with the Smurl family, a lot of things that I've seen have been beat for beat due to, you know, the stories that we heard about the Devil in Pennsylvania house. In that trailer, like the chandelier scene, the scene with Jack levitating to the ceiling, the scene with the little girl and the doll, those are stories that if you look into the Smurl family story, that they said that they experienced. Now, a lot of things with paranormal can be tricky because it's just word of mouth, but it was a lot of people, and to this day, people believe in a Smurl family story. We see Annabelle and Valak and a crooked man through this trailer, or at least in the beginning of the trailer, kind of showing that they exist in this universe. I feel that a lot of this is going to be about the Smurl family, but it also is going to play a big part about Judy Warren, because through the trailer we see a lot of Judy Warren. We see, you know, her actually look through a mirror and she sees Annabelle in a rocking chair. We see them out to eat, and then she sees like a hand that's on her shoulder, which that, you know, could actually be Valak. It kind of has the vibe that it can be Valak. Maybe, you know, Lorraine Warren actually sees Valak hovering over her daughter's shoulder or something. Either way, we know that Annabelle is going to definitely be taunting Judy Warren, because we see that scene with her with the dress on and a mirror maze, and we see Annabelle actually growing or she's at least taller than we're usually seeing her. I think that this is going to actually be the scariest in my opinion. We see this guy downstairs like a demon. He's smiling. He's obviously looking at someone that's like lower than him because he looks super tall in this scene. And we see like the CGI demon. We see at the end one of the Smurl family's daughters actually charges at Lorraine Warren. And I'm pretty sure that's not everything that they show. I think it's going to be a lot more. They probably put the dog scene in there because that's a big highlight. I think they're going to put a lot of scenes in there that, you know, are also just kind of just over exaggerated, but that's what's going to make the movie a lot more scarier, because if they told the regular story in the way that the Smurls told it with the details, it won't seem too, you know, Hollywoodish. So they got to make it a little, you know, beefier and things like that. But I do think this is going to be the scariest one, because a lot of people complained about the third one, The Devil Made Me Do It, saying it wasn't scary enough. It didn't feel like the Conjuring movies, which I thought the witch was a little bit, her character, it didn't feel as, you know, aggressive as Valak's character was, or even a Crooked Man. It just felt like she was just there at a point. But I feel like if it's going to, you know, be better than the first and second one, out of all the cases, this will be the case that will do it. And this is one of the last cases that the Warrens took on before they retired and everything. So, and they had trouble with this case. They had a lot of trouble, you know, compared to their other cases. The Smurl family case, they had to get down to the bottom of it, even if they could. You know, they had to try to do things that were different from other cases to solve this case. But they said that it just wasn't working. It was a different type of demon that was a part of this family. Now, moving forward, we see a lot of Lorraine Warren in this. I think the reason we're seeing a lot of Lorraine Warren in this is because the demon is going to be coming after her. It's not going to be too much worried about Ed. We see Ed also performing like an exorcism or whatever at the end, but I feel like with this one, the reason it's going to be scarier is because the story is more famous than any other story that they took on, the Smurl family story. With this story being demon driven and devil driven, it's nothing more scary than the demon, devil, Satan, Lucifer, and it's in this house, and they're hearing mimics of themselves, and they're seeing, like, you know, demons in the house, and to the point they end up having to move out this house. Yes, I think that this right here is going to be a different type of story. I can't wait to see how they write Ed and Lorraine off in this story. And I think that, you know, when you see the other two, they are good. I love it. My favorite Conjuring is The Conjuring 2, which is the story that they said it could potentially be a prank. And it was like, you know, the Enfield poltergeist or whatever. But I think that that story had a lot of creepy moments because of them actually just making it a little bit creepier with their own ideas, not because of the story that's out there in articles. It was more Valak and the Crooked Man and things like that. So overall, I think that even them showing us these pieces in the Warren Museum, when Ed's like, hey, don't touch anything, not even the toys can be played with. When he says that, that just shows me that they're kind of going to be intertwining the museum with Judy Warren. Annabelle obviously is in the scene when she's in a rocking chair, and she doesn't even exist in a Smurl family story. So I just think they're gonna make it their own, but also pay a lot of homage to the Smurl family, being that the Smurl family is going to be the base and heart of the story, but a lot of other things is going to be going on. And that's why we see Judy Warren so prominent through this trailer, because I feel like they're trying to tell us, like, hey, she's going to be a big part of this story. I think it's going to be the scariest. I definitely think it's going to be the scariest case, especially with the demons that we've seen. The guy in the basement, he's sticking with me. And the girl that comes out the corner and runs towards Lorraine Warren, and the scream and look on her face, it definitely gave me the creep. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the scariest one, coming out September 5th of this year. I will be in the theaters day one. And yeah, you all comment down below. Do you think this will be the scariest case out of all the cases with the Conjuring movies? Let me know down in the comments. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.